thinking through a family legacy marriage progression as of Saturday, 28 December 2024. Today is Saturday, 28 December 2024. I'm Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. I'm Tanis Coralee, she, her, hers of Graceland. I'm going to think through a family legacy, up the family from me, generations before me, marriage progression, and ruminate about it as a possibility for myself. Yes. So I was like trying to come up with, can I come up with terms for, like, I do like the on blank for a topical discussion. There's thinking through, there's also like broaching a topic, and there's like different stages. There's like a thinking through still at like kind of a basic level in terms of my own understanding. So this is one where I'm like, I reworked it a little bit and I was like, I'm going to talk through one where some of you are like, I know who you're talking about, but you know what? This is only up the family tree, so I can't go out sideways. This is straight up. And I have no idea, genuinely, how many times this has happened in my family tree. There's a lot of people. There's all the people that, you know, came before me that led to me. Right. So this one, for all I know, is like half the family tree. Right. Going straight up. I don't actually know the number. So I was like thinking about that, and I was like, you know, sometimes I might actually lose sight of something if I overly focus in. All right. So, okay. So there's the introduction. As I go through this, I have a Franz English muffin, original type. I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of reduced fat peanut butter, and then I'm going to cut up 4 Reese's miniatures and have myself a sandwich. I've had this before. Not necessarily in the YouTube videos, but I've consumed this before. I find it very good. It's a good indulgence. It's like, what, 490 calories or something like that. So for some people, I saw 500 calories snack. I'm like, you know, but it tastes good. Okay. All right. So the family legacy marriage progression I'm going to speak to is women and man generations above me in my family tree. Met one calendar year. So that's first calendar year. Got engaged the following calendar year, second calendar year, and got married the next calendar year, third calendar year. I don't know. So I think there's a bit of, for at least one scenario of that happening, I think it was just kind of how the people were living their lives, and it kind of came out as an output. I don't necessarily think it was planned as like they had to have it one calendar year, one calendar year, one calendar year. Which then gets me to a little bit to, would it then be applicable to myself, since I am, like, is my soulmate and or soulmates watching this? Is that something they want? Like, we enter a little bit different of a, even if that were the output, that doesn't, do we want to approach it that way? Right? That kind of thing of, since I'm talking about it, there's a little bit of, does that change the nature of the thing? Like planning about it before even the like meeting of the person kind of thing. So there's that. So like, well, let's like actually, so the calendar year thing might not necessarily be like, I was like a fit necessarily for me, like so much as like spacing or the occasion on which those things happen. So it's like, can I work through that for like, take 4 different people, soulmate spaces, and be like, go through them, and thank you for letting me use your name in soulmate space for using that. So that's the 2 tablespoons. I did 1 tablespoon on each. Now I'm going to slice these guys in half, and I'll show you how to slice them. So for me, in 4 big soulmate names, scenario, thank you for me, scenarios, thank you for letting me use you here. Okay, so we're going to start with Elvis Presley / Austin Butler. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to slice. So slicing the Reese's miniatures like this, and then putting them on like this. I'm doing that for 4 of them. Okay, so Elvis Presley / Austin Butler. A little over 3 years to marriage from meeting, with a shorter time to proposal and longer time to wedding. So that one's more, I've brought that one up before, for that, my Elvis Presley / Austin Butler. And so for that one, it's more of a spacing thing. Like the feel of it fits. So not a calendar year approach so much as spacing. Then the next one, Dominique Szoboszlai. My Dominique Szoboszlai. A little over 3 years to marriage from stabilization of in his work life. So that one's a little bit different. It's not necessarily even from when we met, as so much as a stabilization of interactions. So there we go. A shorter time to proposal and longer time to wedding. It's kind of like there's still a wedding still needs to be planned. Right, so there's giving the wedding enough time to be planned, kind of how we want to, or he wants to, or that kind of thing. That thing. And then, so that's 2, 3. My Russell Wilson. Hey, friend. Proposal at the time of re-meeting. So, there we go. This is the 4. There we go. On there. And then I'm going to put the top on. So, proposal at the time of re-meeting. Perhaps a question and answer session for a talk presentation I'll give at a conference. Research areas, science and mathematics. Wedding entirely on his terms, including his number 1 want for the wedding night. We lay in bed nude together and eat a 5-pound tub of snickerdoodle cookie dough together. Come and get me, babe, you little punk. Such an adorable little punk. And then a 4th scenario. The man whose name inspired kelp forests, Travis Kelce. Proposal at the time of meeting, perhaps at a question and answer session for a talk presentation I give at a conference, research areas, science and mathematics. Perhaps he marries me on the spot or just outside the venue. Either way, on his terms. Including his number 1 want for the wedding night, we lay in bed nude together and eat a half-gallon container of Tillamook peanut butter ice cream together. Yeah, those last 2 want to know more than anything else that I'm committed to them being beefcakes. This is very good. That would be that last one. Very interesting. So I have given talk presentations in science / mathematics. And I've had somebody like who was not familiar with the literature get the microphone and ask me a question. And it was just like, but it wasn't a question, it was just like, you're wrong. I'm like, that would be in stark contrast to an American football player coming, all dressed up, like in uniform, and asking me to marry them, getting a yes, and then getting married. Like on the spot, we're right outside. But yeah, why is it the American football player, I think to Russell Wilson too, are the ones asking good questions? Or just a question, I guess. So that's, so what I'm trying to get at is the 1, 2, 3 kind of calendar year thing is not incorporated into those 4 scenarios I talked through for myself. Whatsoever. It might be an output, but it's not how I think about it at like input level or planning level. And the other thing, you're like, but what if we want to attend your talk? So for the next few weeks, I'm going to think about unpackaging. One thing, I might do a video, an unpackaging video. This is a poster I presented over a decade ago, December 2014. It was earlier in December 2014. And I think this is the poster. My publication is still packaged from when I mailed it back in 2015. But do like unpackaging. You can see if it's actually that poster. But also kind of talk through some of what I've done. A few things or publications I have not necessarily covered from my time in science. And also, like, what if you wanted to attend? Based on my experiences I've already had presenting and publishing, how might I handle a famous person? Do I have a personal protocol for that? Can I think through, based on my already experiences, what if you wanted to attend my talk, my poster session, or a poster session I'm presenting on? Or what if you wanted to access one of my print/online peer-reviewed journal publications? Right, I have multiple of those out there already. Does that relate to this? Yeah. It's about opening up something, whether I know how to talk about it or not, that I have not really foundationalized on this channel, YouTube channel, at least currently. $60 out of 10. I've had this a few times over the holidays. And thank you for joining me for this thinking through a family legacy progression as of Saturday, 28 December 2022.